Well,
Hey y'all. I know y'all been waiting for us and it's been a whirlwind. In case you didn't know, we just came back from the Reality Rundowns live event, which also No Chaser TV attended. So we fresh out of DC. I know I am. So is Chase. Fortunately, Jay is from the DMV area. So
I feel like I traveled.
you
I feel like I traveled.
Yes, I know you do because this weekend was a lot. It was fun. There's some surprises, some tea spilled, all exciting stuff. But welcome. This is No Chaser TV's Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part 3 review. So we are excited. We had to kind of catch up on the episode, child, because we was in real time at the event. And although they were playing the reunion, we really wasn't. It was so much going on. Um, but happy to be here with you. How you feel? How you feeling, Jay?
I woke up refreshed, and then halfway through the day, woof, went downhill.
Yes. So the people are joining the lounge. Okay. Hey y'all. Thanks for joining us. Excited to be here, and this is of the wrap up of the last reunion for this season. Very interesting. We had multiple people come in, leave. Um, Karen Huger, Monique came out, Jazzy left. Uh, but it was some fun. It was some fun. Definitely quite a bit of shade thrown around with it. Okay, so we're gonna hop into it. Chase is back there being bossy per usual, but didn't answer my question. Okay.
Hmm.
So the episode actually opens up with what happened at the end of the last episode, which is Monique pulling out her phone and playing a recording of something we don't really know who it's coming from. Um, in terms of a recording, somebody basically saying that Stacy told Chris, even though we can't hear it, Stacy, somebody told Monique that Chris was aware of her, Monique, filming with the children. And the person just alludes to that. We don't know what exactly was said. We don't even know who this person is. And so that was a bombshell. All we have is everybody else's reaction to what was said. Clearly, the other people, the cast members in the room know who it is and whatnot. And so all we know is that allegedly this information came from Stacy. Allegedly. Today, fresh off the presses.
Hot
Um,
off.
Monique online has vindicated Stacy and does not believe that she had any involvement in this store, what was happening during production, it being leaked to Chris. She's saying now that's not true. Um, Again, this is something that is kind of evolving in real time. She says, give her some time to see the actual reunion. There you go. So here it is. I'm reading it. A lot of time has passed since the reunion was filmed. After gaining more info since then, I don't believe Stacy had anything to do with any of that bullshit. I'll probably go live on IG at some point this week and give y'all the entire story. I haven't watched the reunion episodes yet, so let me catch up and get back to you. But I at least wanted to clear her name on all of it. There you have it. So when she goes live, Make sure you go to No Chaser TV. We will keep you updated. Make sure you're following us here on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. If you don't follow us on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, please do so as well. But that is the latest on the recording from that Monique presented during the reunion. Okay. We don't know what was said. It was all blurred. It was all we couldn't hear any of it. So
I'm so
um
sick of talking about this. So,
I, I mean, Jay, you could share what we learned last night from Ashley
well,
about.
yeah. So apparently it was one of Monique's kids on the phone that I guess asked who is Stacy, so or had pretty much confirmed that knew something about Stacy. One of her kids knew Stacy's name. So I don't know if that meant that she was talking like with Chris, or he was just talking about her. We don't know, but Ashley said that that was what was said on the phone, and apparently everybody's jaws were on the ground. Blah blah blah. Yeah,
So what I took from it was that a conversation was overheard probably by the child in reference. We don't know which child it was. There's three children, right? And the child does not know Stacy, so obviously they overheard a conversation. I don't know if it came from Chris. It seems like it came from Chris, and the child kind of repeated some stuff to Monique in reference to Stacy. It mentioned Stacy's name in the middle of it. So that is allegedly what this is coming from. Again, the reality rundowns Q&A session with Ashley Darby when we was in DC. And so that's all the information we have, but that is some tea. That's some exclusive tea y'all didn't know. So we got that update yesterday in real time. All right. So stay tuned. There's more stuff that'll be spilled. Keep your eyes on IG and all of our other platforms to get that information. So yes, that was some tea that was spilled. Now hopping back into it. Stacy had denied the allegations during the reunion. Let's be very clear. She's saying, Monique, I would not do this. I don't know where this is coming from. In that moment, now we know that it was one of Monique's children who relayed this information. She said, well, why would they lie? What do they have to gain from it? Right? I'm going to go with what my child says, allegedly. So there you go, guys. All right. So Andy asked Wendy Andy's like, Wendy, I've been looking at your face and it looks like you're looking to Stacy to confess. And Wendy's like, well, I don't know if I'm going to say that. I would just say, the tides are turning and she, everybody's coming at her. So it is what it is. And then Kay is also claiming that, which is hit. We can get into this too. Kay is claiming that Stacy did it. And she's using Cookie as a point of reference, which Monique had already said previously during the season. I don't even believe Cookie, but yet in this moment, Monique's not really backing down during the reunion. And so I think Monique was just very conflicted in this moment. You could tell me in a second, Jay, how you felt. I think she was very conflicted. If your child tells you they overheard a conversation and they don't know the person that they referencing, which was Stacy in the moment, I would tend to believe my child. But again, it's a lot going on, and she's just like, why would my child lie? So Jay, we could make this really quick right now that we know who the person on the recording kind of is.
I mean, I think she is conflicted. I feel like it's clear you can tell that whatever her relationship is with Chris is not good. Like I think she just very this whole situation. You can tell it's like taxing for her because like she doesn't really know Stacy. She's not saying that she's a liar, but to your point, if my kid is coming to me telling me something, I'm not gonna. I'm not necessarily going to believe my child, but I'm going to have questions after my child says it. So I feel like the truth is somewhere in the middle. I think there's a lot of like bad actors in this situation. But
Kate
yeah,
being one of them.
yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think everybody, and I think that's the problem when so many people are getting involved in this and have like their 2 cents. I think everybody knows something. I think some people know more than others. Some people are just making shit up. So it's just very messy. And I mean, at this point, let's just wait for Monique to go on live because it's probably only get more fucking confusing after that.
True. I totally agree with that. I'm looking in the lounge. Robo's Adventure had already mentioned allegedly it was her son. Yes. Um, Here's the thing, and I also see somebody saying waiting on Kay's apology. Um, Ashley's such a good friend. You know, all of this stuff. When all of this comes out, I would like to see who's gonna apologize to Stacey. I I'm not clearing her of totally everything she's ever said. But the fact is that you were dead wrong and you were so adamant. But I also said somewhere in there, Cookie is in there lying. Why is she so much in the mix? I don't like that Cookie's in this and inserting herself. I thought she was doing too much. She was being aggressive just like Kay. So I see why they're friends. And interestingly enough, Karen, I don't know. I don't know. Karen came on the reunion and I didn't hear her make any mention of Cookie at all. So this is just and Cookie is Karen's friend. Am I correct? Like I'm
Yeah.
just confused. So the only one that keeps bringing up Cookie really is Kay. And so I just don't understand what's her dog in this fight. Other than her just stirring the pot. So to me, Kay's been almost as messy as Ashley at this point. That's the way I look at it. Um, but yes, now the kids are in the mess, unfortunately.
What if Karen was involved in this? Wouldn't that be a gag?
Child, I hope not. She got her own stuff she need to work out.
I mean,
Which
she does, but I mean, if you, I mean, she and Stacy are not necessarily on good terms. If Cookie's her friend and she's, I mean, I don't know how chummy she and Monique are. I don't really think she's involved, but I just think that would be funny if she was. But let's just move on because this is it's so ghetto.
I yes, so Andy moves on to the Colorado and Aniva's trip and they ask little cute questions and it's a little shady and Giselle stands by not putting Stacy's name on the road, but she said she'll take back. She didn't really know that she got Stacy a large. So she'll apologize for that. Um Angel agrees that nobody likes to sit in silence at her events. She's talking about the sound baths and meditation and everything else. We get the info about how Stacy's potato salad, how it
Mm.
actually tastes. I would venture to say her friend Wendy is the only one that tried it. She said, it's decent.
It
I mean,
didn't look. I
I
mean, it didn't look good, but
tasted worse though. That's what she said.
it didn't look good.
Exactly. So I don't know, Stacy, you might need to freshen up on that recipe. I don't know where you got it, but it didn't go over well. Everybody else said nobody tasted it, just sat there. Um, Here we get on to the polo event that Tia had hosted, and basically, the women have commented that, oh, you know, these people have never been around black folks before, and Tia says jokingly, well, Andy's like, well, how did they take what the lady said during the episode? She says, well, I'm still gainfully employed. And she took the time to throw a shot at Jazzy, which I found interesting. Tia says, I sold more than one house, Jazzy. And Jazzy goes on to respond and says, good, so you can take care of your husband? Your husband? And then Tia responds by saying, it's better than the 150K townhouse that you have. And I'm just like, girl, where y'all two? Why y'all two getting into it? Um,
Mhm. But I mean, also we did hear last night that from Ashley, she was asked kind of about the her thoughts on who would come back, basically just on casting. And someone asked about Tia, and she did say that it seems right now that Tia might have a little bit of drama brewing in the streets. Someone did ask, was it related to her husband? And Ashley didn't say yes. She didn't answer that. She just kind of did like the little Mr. J, the look. So
like that, with her eyes wide.
so maybe it would, so
She
maybe
said, "Do
Jack.
with that what you will," and look
So
down. So it seems to be as much as Tia is going at Jazzy about her and her relationship and her finances. Uh, Jazzy had a jab back in reference to her taking care of her whole household, and there seems to be more to that story with Tia. So I guess we'll get more info next season.
mm, that's gonna
Um,
be interesting.
ah,
I like new, like we haven't really had like a newbie scandal. You know what I mean? Like Wendy and Karen, yeah, they're scandals, but they're from like people we've seen on the show. Like I'm looking forward to getting like a new person who's got foolishness going on.
so here's a question for you.
Shoot.
Actually, I mean, how did you? And then I'll get into my take. So last night we attended the watch party for Real Housewives of Potomac's 10-year anniversary. And Ashley Darby was the talk of the town. She was the one who joined us during the watch party. How did you feel seeing Ashley up there? And I mean, you've met Ashley before,
I have. Oh, we should
right?
also point out NECA popped up and made an appearance.
Yes, she did.
Always good to see NECA. She looked, oh my God, looked amazing. But yeah, so what did I think about Ashley being on the stage?
Yes, and just her persona in general.
I mean, Ashley is very like she's very real. Like she didn't deny any questions. She didn't like skirt away from anything. I feel like she's very um open with like her relationship to the show, when whether she returns, how it affects her family. Even I thought it was interesting how she admitted that one of the reasons that she and Michael decided to separate was if she had decided to do another season of the show. So I think, and even she admitted that she didn't plan on sharing that. But I thought it was nice. I mean, I think she's a fun girl. Demi and Diamond were sitting, let me tell you. Very good.
Yes. Yeah, she paid a good penny. Her surgeon did
Mhm.
her well. So in this moment, I'm going to admit I was wrong about one thing.
Okay.
All right. David and Amanda Kay. I'm gonna say this, okay. I have been very critical of Ashley Darby. One thing I'm not gonna change on. I still don't enjoy her on the show. Um, but Ashley is a good time.
Oh, good time. The sipper shade. That was a good time.
Yes. Yes. If you have not gone to our IG, make sure you visit that. She did spill. She likes a good game. She likes a good game and she participates. She was very engaging. She basically answered every question. She is very real. I think when you meet these people in person, which this is not the first time I've met the housewives in person. We went last year and we met more housewives. Um, that was Mia, that was Jazzy, and that was Jacqueline. And so I will say that Ashley really, to me, separates the show, her role on the show, and who her persona is. And I'm gonna be honest with you, she was so honest about a lot of stuff that I couldn't sit here and say she wasn't being real. Because there's some things, I mean, you know what she did? She dodged questions about Giselle's relationship, which
Hmm.
isn't her tea to spill. But on the flip side, we got more answers about the situation with Sharice and everything else. Um, she's a good time.
We
Again, I might not like her behavior on the show.
then
I'm
we ended up at the bar. Well, I ended up at the bar with her. Jesus, I was so tired. Oh, but she's a great time. I mean, that she is a great time.
she answered every question honestly, even some questions about who she's into, a little bit more fluidity than you even see on the show. She admits to a lot, so I'll give Ashley credit on that. So I wanted to say, with that, outside of the show, she a fun time, but on the show, I don't know if I could get jiggy with her. Back to
Well,
the reunion.
I want to just address two comments in the lounge. So Robo's Adventure 3216 said, I would like to see her on Traders. She actually
She
told
is.
us that she had been approached for Traders, I think twice, and she turned it down. Basically, she was talking about, the commitment, being away from her kids, and, there's not a guarantee that you win the money. So she has to decide if it's worth, the time being away. And then also Nandy, I know when you said real is real, she's getting paid to be real during the season. She actually brought that. There was a question, I can't remember what it was, but there was a question, and she basically said she was talking about the other women, how, they were talking about how she was talking about people's social media antics, and she was saying that they watch that there's three stages of being a housewife: filming, watching the show, and then reunion. But she was basically saying how so many of the other women are not real during the season, but then they use when the show is airing to be real. So I just thought that that was interesting that, you kind of said that she's getting paid to be real during the season, but she was actually kind of basically saying her coworkers are not being real. So, but we can just jump back into the review.
Yes. So yeah, she stood 10 toes down on a lot of things that she said, and she was a lot more refreshing. I did not expect to actually enjoy seeing her up there. She's really in her element with the live events. I'll give her that. Additionally, all right, back into the review. We didn't talk about Angel's trip.
Andy barely talked about it.
He really didn't. Um, Angel says she felt justified in putting Ashley and Giselle in that
Okay,
tiny
hold on.
ass room.
Yeah. So we're actually gonna play
Oh,
the
oh,
sip or shade video from
okay.
last night. So we're gonna play that real quick, and then we're gonna jump back into the review, or we're gonna wait until it pops out.
Hey, Sean.
I mean, Angel's segment is so short. We could honestly keep talking about that.
True. Um, yeah, she said she felt justified putting Ashley and Giselle in a small room.
Boo, tomato, tomato.
Whatever. Giselle took the reins of the trip since the house had no water. Andy asked if anybody disagreed with that and thought that maybe, that wasn't Giselle's place. And of course, for a change, Kay stepped up and said, I disagreed with it. Immediately Giselle was like, girl, you wasn't in the house. You ain't in no position to say anything. You had running water. So it is what it is. Um,
K
so
quiet. Listen, K quiets down when Giselle wags that finger in her face.
yeah, like you're not really in
Good
any position.
daughter.
Yeah, like I mean, if at any time she needed to step up and be a friend to Angel, there was a couple more times she could have did this. Like,
Like the
first of
whole
all, we
season.
know she not gonna go up against Giselle like that anyway.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Kay, she toes the line.
Angel apologizes again. She says she wasn't in the group chat, so she didn't know what was going on until Jazz until she called Jazzy and was informed. And then she goes into the address debacle and says somebody dropped the pin from the location. But I will say GPS could be real annoying at times. So that's the problem. But when you are in the middle of nowhere, GPS is not the best indicator of that, to be honest.
But she's Miss Denver, like Giselle said. Like she should know how to get everywhere.
Yeah, I just it just was a bad situation. I'm not on. I don't know, if I had no water, I'd probably be losing my mind too.
I mean, what I will say is I'm glad that I thought that Andy was gonna harp on this more. I'm kind of glad that actually, you know what, now that I think about it, he didn't talk about them going to Kemosabe or anything.
No,
Um
a lot of stuff got cut.
wow, yeah, because there was like the Mauricio of it all. I don't think we discussed.
Yeah, they talked a little bit. It was
Oh
very
yeah.
small.
Um, I
It
don't know
was
where I
very
was going with
small.
that. I was going somewhere with that, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Oh, wait, is he ready to play? No, he's not. Where are we? Let's continue. My mind is like frazzled right now. I'm so sorry.
um, this is actually, so she addresses the location issue, right? And then Jazzy actually leaves the reunion. Um, which is interesting. But I guess they had to make room for Karen.
Did they?
So
Jazzy did more work at the reunion than a lot of those girls. Now it wasn't good work, but she did work. Now, Jazzy, I still like you, girl, but you know, that that's bullshit.
um
But yeah, let's talk about Grand Drunk.
so so Andy asks Karen about the grand dame of it all. And so if you guys remember when at the end of last season, actually, Karen did this whole like video thanking people and not thanking people, but she also was like, oh, when I come back, I'm gonna shed the grand dame name. I'm just gonna be Karen. And then she does about face on it. She said the fans won't let it go. I tried to shed it, but people want it, so I'm gonna give it to them. And then Andy goes around the room and really asks all the ladies, how do you feel to have Karen back at the reunion? You know, the most prominent one is when he asks Wendy, because, just I was like, I'm happy to have her back. I don't like the reunion without her, all of that. Ashley basically says the same thing, but Wendy is different.
Hold on. Can we talk about real quick how she didn't even acknowledge Angel and Tia by name?
She called them rookies.
I feel like she might have kind of acknowledged Tia, but she definitely called Angel rookie. I was like, damn.
I don't know, but see, the other part of that is she could have, and it could have got chopped, and
I
they
mean,
just left rookie.
because I know Tia and her took a picture at BravoCon, so I mean, they've at least met. I mean, why would you mention Angel? But yeah, I just thought that was funny.
Yeah. I'll get to that. Andy asks Wendy, how does she feel? How does it feel to see Karen? She says, I'm happy to see her on the other side of this because I haven't seen her. Karen says she's met the rookies. And when she saw when things got a little rough for them, she wished she could have called and told told Angel. I'm assuming she really meant Angel because she referred to both of them as rookies. She said, when I saw things go really left, I really wish I could have called her and told her to tell them to F off. She's getting really, really crazy with the cursing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. She cursed before, but now it's like really like quite often.
Yeah.
So I think she really got an edge to her now. Now she really on some crazy. Like I was like, dang, every other word is a cuss word from Karen.
I feel like this was the first time that she really felt kind of unlikable. I mean, you know me, I've always been able to see through her bullshit, but I've always had a soft spot for Karen. But like I was like, oh, she's not really, even when she was trying to be like soft and sweet, like it felt like only Giselle kind of got any sort of warmth from her. Everyone else, it was just it's very mercurial.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think the other thing with man, me and Karen share a birthday.
Uh,
I get it. Um Karen, she acknowledged Monique. One thing we actually Giselle has a heart. Karen mentioned that Giselle actually left her letters in her mailbox. I do I don't know. I have this situation with Karen really bugs me. It's just like she tried to really take control. Like, oh, I'm the OG, and although I was locked up, I'm back, and I'm gonna give y'all a pecking order, and y'all gonna fall in line. I didn't particularly care about that because there's no pecking order, ma'am. When you knew that you had a tape like that out there floating around and thought you was going to beat these charges and you refused even though she was in denial, yes, I get that you're in denial, but you refuse to look at a tape.
I think Karen had a couple shots before she got on that stage.
Lord child. Stacy and Karen, because he gonna come get you. You see how he losing it in the comments. uh
I never said shot of what. Could have been a shot of B12.
I knew it.
I'm not losing it in the comments, but y'all, what does that have to do with what she did at the reunion? I don't understand what that her getting arrested have to do with her coming to the reunion. I don't
She
get it.
needed to humble herself, and she did that.
Mhm. What's she supposed to come hat in hand and say, "Oh, I'm so, oh, guys, no, please, it's the reunion. The season sucked without her, and she came back, and they let her sun them. That is not her fault because she came back, made Stacy move on over to the other side. She big dog Stacy. I'm sorry." I'm sorry. She big dog Stacy. Stacy did
Yeah,
all
but
that during the season and got big dog in 5 minutes or less. All that. Thank you. Stacey did all that big dog
those
talking. Stacey did all that, and Karen came out and in 5 seconds flat moved her ass over, sized her up, didn't acknowledge her, called her a liar, moved on, cussed Wendy out, gave Wendy great advice, barely acknowledged anybody else, and she big dogged them, and they let
she
her
can't
do
even
it.
take her
Whose
own
fault is
advice,
this?
Chase.
So
She
what? No, who
cannot
who
take
won't let
her
shake
own
hands?
advice.
What does that have to do with
She's
the
in
fact that she
no
big
position
dogged
to
them?
tell anybody
She
that they
that has
should
nothing to
shut the
do with
F
that.
up. She
Well,
should have shut the
yeah,
F
she.
up instead of telling people that she was
But see,
Thomas
here you go
Jefferson's
again.
concubine.
Yeah, she
Let's be
should have shut
real
the
with
fuck
that
up.
one.
But do you understand what she's trying to say? She said, "You need to take a lesson from me because I got up here and I didn't shut the fuck up. And I'm telling you, you need to
She
shut
needs
the
to
fuck
shut the
up."
F up and admit she's an alcoholic.
Why?
Shit,
So
Marlo,
why? So
come
then
on.
what? So then what? Then what
So she
happens
can
after
move
that?
up steps in her
So
sobriety.
what? Oh, girl, let me tell you something. That self righteous, hoity toity girl. Everybody ain't gonna move on like you wanted to move on, Diva. It doesn't work like that. But at the end of the day, she came and she brought the most thrilling moments outside of Wendy at this reunion because everybody else tried and failed, and certain people's queen bee didn't even get a video package. And that girl came out there, and in 5 seconds flat, she ran it. So go ahead and acknowledge the grand dame. Go ahead and acknowledge the queen for coming in and showing the girls how to do a reunion because that's how you do it. I thank you.
The bar was low.
Yeah, the bar was very low. The bar was very low, but it was a little bit higher because
But
Robin wasn't there. All
I
right.
are
Thank you.
stuttering.
Thank you. Robin was at home watching.
And Karen's performance was a two. That's why your
Was that
technology
Robin that
is saying
did?
foolishness.
We
Hmm.
can't hear you. You're in water, darling.
Go ahead, do your show, girl, because I feel like I need to stay.
Okay. Karen asked Stacy if she lied this season. Then she overtalked with Andy. uh, she asked Stacy, did she lie this season? You know, she made reference to TJ and if she dated Chris Samuels. Stacy obviously denies all the allegations, right? Andy asked, you know, where do you and Stacy stand now? And Karen just, child, I need you to mute,
Monique, mute your phone.
child.
Or else what?
We can hear all the noise in the background, child.
Mhm.
Thank you. Uh,
Such a
uh,
nasty old thing.
Andy asks where they stand right now. Karen says she's open to new beginnings, but Stacy can't lie. Here's where I have a problem with Karen. You are in no position to tell somebody who is is worthy of lying or not lying. You've lied to us for 10 years, Karen. You've had addiction to alcohol and pills, and you've had 4 DUIs. You've been lying for a very long time, and we were not aware of 3 of them. So, to me, from a moral standpoint, and I'm saying this as somebody who was born the same day as Karen, she is wrong. I don't care if she big dog them. I mean, I think it's more of a pecking order thing where she feels like she has to tell these chicks, you ain't gonna come for my spot because you can't take my spot. And I understand that part. I really do. I can because I don't drive drunk, boo. I can absolutely be the morality police. Okay? The fact is that that lady knew she was being recorded on a body cam and refused to review it and refused to listen to her lawyers
You are
when they
not
told her
God.
to take a
You are not
player deal,
God.
and she did some
You are
stupid
not
shit and
God.
ended up in jail because
You are
of it.
not God.
You
You're
absolutely
not
right, but
God.
her ass don't need to be driving
You're
with
not
no
God.
with a suspended license
You're
and
not
no
God.
insurance, okay? Because
You're
that is
not God.
also in the docket, baby. Where's Blue Eyes? You know you should have had a driver.
Time.
Where is Blue Eyes or
She did her
somebody else?
time.
Okay, and
She did her time.
whatever
She did her time.
establishment had her there should have called her an Uber. So they are just as
She did
responsible.
her time. Uh,
Everybody watched it
she
and
did her
saw this
time.
for years and allowed
She
it to
did
happen.
her
I'm
time.
telling you, my birthday twin was
She's
dead
accountable
wrong.
according to
I don't
the
care.
police,
And you
to
know
the
what?
county
She should
jail.
have served
She's
a
been
year. How about
accountable
that? You don't
Be
drive drunk.
to the
thou
judge. A court
be
judge, she's been
Her wig
accountable.
was twisted.
According
We
to the
don't know if
judge,
somebody
she's
was
done
in
her
the
time.
car with her.
According
She
to the
had
judge,
bottles of alcohol in the passenger seat. And that's what it is.
Why am I here?
yet and still, Bravo invited her back.
Yeah, because
And
they
guess what
want
she
her to get
did?
sober because she
She took
needs
her
the show.
learnings.
Her
She
ego
took
is
her
hurt.
learning.
Her
Chase,
ego is hurt.
in the
She took her
words of
learnings.
Ellen,
She took her learn. She took her learnings from the county jail and applied them at the reunion because she marked her spot and let Stacy and the girls know not to be fucked with. So regardless to whatever you guys think, and I want everybody to hear me within the sound of my voice. I'm not discounting the fact that she made those choices, which were bad choices. She made those choices, but she has done her time. And so for me, if she has served her debt to society, who are we? Because none of us are God. And what that means is the only person that sits high and looks low is God. So you don't personally have to
Oh
forgive her
Lord.
personally.
you know what,
Okay. What?
Chase, you have an
Excuse me?
unnatural allegiance to losers, and that is unlike you.
Excuse me. I'm not fucking done talking. An unnatural allegiance to losers. An unnatural allegiance to losers. Robin, shut the fuck up. Next,
I said what
as
I
I
said.
was saying before I was interrupted. as I was saying before I was interrupted,
You're mad.
again, she has paid her debt to society. Huh?
No, nothing, dear.
I couldn't hear you. What you say?
I said you
Okay, I
mad.
didn't think so. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and just handle that for right now. Okay. Do you have something you want to say? Well, I'm up here finna say what I need to say or
I
no?
said what needed to be said.
Okay, you said what you needed to be said, but my thing is everybody acts like they're so higher ground, and that to me
I don't
feels
drive drunk,
weird
baby.
because no, no,
Never.
okay, okay, but what do you do, Torby? Do you do something? Because if you, I hope
I
that
drink
you have a
responsibly.
clean slate.
I
Excuse me.
drink
I hope that you have a
responsibly.
clean. I, girl, that's not the question. I hope that you have a clean slate in life because if you
I
ever
didn't say
fuck
I was
up,
a saint,
if I'm just
baby.
no, let me finish. Let me finish. I hope that you have a clean slate because if you ever fuck up in life, ever fuck up in life, you don't want anybody to do you the same motherfucking way. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. She's paid her debt. If she fuck up again, she's to go to jail again. Okay? If she do it again, she needs to suffer the same consequences even more until she learns her lesson. However, what I'm trying to stress and impress upon people, it's not our place. It's not our place. So
The
when
judge gave her
people
time, and that's what I'm
and did she
commenting on.
do it? Did she do it?
Who did it? She could have stayed there a
Okay.
little
Well
bit
then what else is
longer. The
going
way I
on?
look at it,
What if
they
well
could have
then
let her
next
cook
time
a
you make
little
sure
bit
that she
longer.
comes make sure next time she comes to the court of Tory B.
I will do that. Never
Okay,
claim
thank
to
you.
be a saint.
Because I'm just saying the reason why I look at things this way,
Yeah,
you
but
guys,
what I do does not
is
affect
because
somebody's life.
the
Whatever
okay,
I
the
do,
reason
it
why
affects
I
me.
look okay, well, the reason why I look at things this way is because if I fuck up in my life, if I make horrible choices and horrible mistakes, do you hear what I'm saying? If I do something and I go ahead and pay my debt to society, I would hope that I wouldn't be treated that way or I wouldn't be judged in that kind of a manner. If you don't want to fuck with her, that's one thing, and you don't never got to fuck with her again. I'm just saying, if somebody was to fall short like that, I think other people would want a level of grace too after they paid their debt to society. And that's just how I feel about that. I do. I feel very strongly about, you know, being forgiving amongst people. And that's not to discount what she did. It was horrible. It was fucked up. It was stupid. She should have gone ahead and taken accountability. The way that she would have taken accountability was watching that footage. That's how she could have taken accountability. But she didn't do it. What else is going on? And the reason why I say what else is going on is because people make mistakes and people get up on these shows and they say what you should have done this and they didn't do this and they should have did it this way and they should have did it that way and I would have done it that way and I don't drink and drive and you don't drink and drive, but what do you motherfucking do?
Spend money in the
Ain't nobody walking this earth perfect. And everybody in the lounge and everybody in their
store.
life has fucked up. And I don't want to hear, I just think that's crazy to me that people act like they're so high and mighty. I don't understand. I don't understand. Yeah, a 62-year-old 62-year-old, so she's 62 years old and she can't have a battle with alcoholism. Like that's crazy. Y'all say some of the dumbest shit. Y'all really do.
Can we continue with the review?
Yeah, as long as y'all don't get up here talking that bullshit.
We going to agree to disagree, child.
We can agree to disagree and move on. I just think that's something that really grinds my gears. It's not about Karen. It's about the
I ain't saying I was
judgment.
better than her though.
Okay,
I'm
well,
not
hold on. Hold on, wait. It's not about Karen. It's about the way that I view people who assess, not view people, but the way I feel about I guess about people who view and assess situations and it comes off as if they're morally superior because they have not fallen once or twice or five times or six times and have not had the same struggles and because their struggles are not the same, that they feel like they're more, it comes off as if they're morally superior when they're going ahead and speaking on people's situations. And though we may not have been drunk driving and gotten caught and gotten DUIs, what have we done? Nobody's perfect. And so that's why I feel that strongly about that. It is not about Karen. It is just about that type of view type in general. I think that people need to be a little bit more flexible in their viewpoints and assessments when it comes to other people's struggles and situations, because surely, though they may not be the same, you may have some as well. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to let Jay come on back up, and that's that on that. So that's how I feel about that. And it's not about Karen. It's just about, it could have been about anyone. When people talked about Wendy, everybody knows I'm not like the flag bearer of Wendy. Like, I'm just not that girl. But when it comes to that, you know what I'm saying? I don't think that if she did it, she should have done it. I'm not co-signing her. If she did it, doing it, do I understand how she could have potentially gotten into that situation? I do understand if she did it, how she could potentially have gotten into that situation. And I do have sympathy for the circumstances that led her to the act, allegedly, if she did it, but not the alleged act. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I
Okay.
think part of what we were saying is she's a bit hypocritical, and people are saying that in the
Fact. Oh, she
chat.
that's hypocritical. Now that,
Okay,
yeah,
so
fact,
that's
fact,
what we were kind of
fact, sis,
saying. You
fact,
can't point out to
fact.
Stacey that she's a liar, and you've been lying about your shit for years. Sharice's been saying for years she was an alcoholic. What I'm saying to you is there is a when you are being Karen was being a hypocrite when she sat up there and said she would be vindicated from all of this shit, and turns out she was a fat ass drunk and saying all types of shit, and she had more DUIs than we knew about. That's the facts. It's not about being like morally superior. It's just like, don't sit up here and point fingers at people, and your ass is the one who got the problem. That's where I have an issue with Karen.
You've never, I don't think I've ever heard you say it in this way. You
Okay.
didn't say that just 5 minutes ago. You said something else.
Yeah, because she should not be calling Stacey a liar. You a liar too,
Why?
Karen.
Yeah, yeah. So I take one to know one, I guess.
Yeah, but don't sit here. I don't want to hear you lying again. Who are you to be saying that? Especially in the lies you got caught in. We knew about one DUI. We didn't know about the others.
Well, did she lie about that?
Omission is the same thing as lying, baby.
Well, I mean, but so she's supposed to say, um, I got charged with 2 DUIs and two of the other 2 DUIs got dropped.
No, what I'm saying is don't sit up here acting like you're the moral high ground when you just as full of shit as everybody else. That is the point.
That I can fuck with. That would see how we find common ground.
There you go.
I can fuck with that. Cause who you talking to?
She said she was going to be vindicated. How? And that was before the tape drop, Amanda K. All right, let's get back into the review.
That was a long commercial break.
It's going to be another one. Go ahead and enjoy it, baby. Go ahead, Torby.
Um, so Andy asked Karen about her sobriety, and she says she knows recovery is for life and she's at peace. And then Andy taps back into what he discussed with her during the sit down. I got feedback. Chase. All right, that's better. And she says, during that sit down, she couldn't really admit that she was an alcoholic. And so he taps into that and says, well, isn't part of your recovery also admitting that you're an alcoholic? And Karen says, it's a personal choice. It's her journey. And she chooses to say she's in recovery for a lifetime. Then questions came up if Bravo did the right thing about around having her at Bravo Con, and are they rewarding her behavior? applauding her behavior. And so, you know, basically, she kind of skirts around as like, people are gonna have their own opinions. Um, Karen does acknowledge something that Ashley said in reference to um, her being out day drinking at Legal Seafood, and confirms that, oh, Ashley finally got a story true and admits to that. However, she does not cop to whatever account Wendy relayed from somebody else who told her kind of a similar story about her being out drinking. Um, Karen does admit she was in denial. However, she doesn't agree with what Wendy said. Andy asked Wendy how she felt when Karen didn't thank her during last year's reunion. Wendy says the betrayal was from Karen, and that's in reference. They go to the little package of last year when Stacy discloses that Karen was talking shit about Wendy behind her back, and Wendy chose Stacy's side. Wendy says that is absolutely some shit Karen would say, and Karen was upset that she took Stacy's side. So that's when the rift in their relationship started. And then Karen, um, well, Wendy goes into, she didn't like the fact, and some people, I get where some people are coming from. I don't know if it was a little chopped up as well, but Wendy says she did not like the fact that Karen repeated the word witch in reference to her mother. I understood what she was saying. When Wendy talks about that, the witch word, she doesn't say it. She says, she makes reference to, yes, they called my mother the W word or whatever she says. But yeah, Karen, I think she had a problem with Karen repeating that word on camera. So I think that's what she meant. Um, Karen then says she loves Wendy's mom, and she particularly enjoyed the fact that she told her to shut the fuck up this season. Um, Giselle chimes in and says, Karen, like, you bugging right now. Andy wraps up the segment that's basically saying y'all both feel betrayed and y'all are not going to resolve it today. So, and he leaves it there. Um, let's chat about that before we go into the next segment. Um, you got some of that? I don't know. It's the Wendy segment. Okay. The Wendy segment is crazy. I think so. You're not going to say anything in reference to her telling her that she enjoyed that her mother told her to shut the F up.
I mean, little abrasive, for sure. But okay.
Okay. Um, Again, I'm gonna say that the superiority thing where Karen believes that she is the end all be all, and she's the one who can say to somebody, you know, I enjoyed your mother telling you to shut the F up. That was really painful. And as somebody who said it, part of their alcoholism is dealing with the loss of their parent, and that you see Wendy crying in that segment after her mother said that, I just thought it was just real nasty for her to come off that way. Um, it just was wrong. It's painful. I think it was even painful her repeating that, because honestly, they didn't really. I don't if Karen didn't say that, I don't know if they would have played that during the reunion. And
Yeah.
so I think she just opened up another wound, even though I'm sure her and her family has moved past it. That's still a painful thing to discuss. And for her to say, "Oh, I enjoyed her mother telling her that," was crazy to me. I just like Karen, you hate Wendy? I'm confused. Why would you say something like that to her?
I
Um,
mean, think about how she cussed out that cop in that police station and she was drunk. This is up her alley. Little ratchet old grandma.
Yes. You know what? Miss EE is, I kind of agree with that. She says Karen has delusions of grandeur. I do agree with that. Um,
Well, a lot of drunks tend to get hype.
yeah, I just it was a little too much for me. I mean, I people who have issues with their parents, um, they tend to be sensitive. And even though her mother said that to her, she's still gonna be protective of her. So I just thought that was crazy for Karen to go there like that. Um the women take so they show snippets of the women responding to Wendy's arrest. They got Karen, no, they got Giselle, Kay, Angel, and Ashley discussing how they felt after her arrest. Tia notes that there already are stereotypes out there about Nigerians and scamming, and it's just not a good look. Angel really has some harsh words for Wendy, saying that all of this stuff that was did to her was a red herring on Wendy's behalf. It was a distraction, so no one would be paying attention to what Wendy had going on. And at the end of that, she said she hopes justice will be served. Um,
Angel's a loser for that. Like, girl, you think way too highly of yourself.
yeah. Andy asked, "What did she mean by that?" She says she just hopes Wendy gets her day in court. Um, I'm just gonna I'm glad you said that. The other part to that is I still don't understand where she gets this. I mean, during this time when that was filmed, obviously she still believed that Wendy was the one that called her a catfish. But it's just like, girl, I don't know, girl. Like this is not you have
Right.
all this energy for Wendy. Giselle was the one who called you a catfish. And I don't know, even thinking about what Kay says next, it seemed like they was chatting about this because then Kay says she feels like Wendy knew that this was gonna happen and that this situation with the arrest affected their relationship. That's what Kay is claiming. So to me, Angel and Kay are alluding that this was happening in the background and Wendy wanted to start all this stuff with Angel so that she got take away from not everybody not looking at her. And then Kay is saying, "Oh yeah, Wendy had this stuff going on, and that's what affected her." I'm very confused because which one is it, Kay? Is it she didn't wave at you when she was speaking? Is it I don't know what's the issue. Now it's the arrest that affected your relationship. I think Kay is all over the place. And I think her and Angel are both full of shit. So sadness and madness can miss me with the bullshit because I'm not falling for it. Every time something comes up, y'all got a new story on Wendy. And the fact is, and it's not me as a Wendy fan, but it's just like it's too much. Every time you turn around, y'all got a problem with the girl. And the girl wasn't even the one who said the catfish comment. The person who said the catfish comment, y'all letting her skate. And just to your point, she let Giselle Kay let Giselle skate on pushing back on her about Angel and the trip. So it's just like them two, sadness and madness are their names. I'm sorry. I they living up to them names, Sha. I
They're
can't.
like the worst emotional support animals for each other. Like it's like the worst person you could have in your corner is both of them. I just rather walk out in the street and get hit by a car. I mean, knock on wood.
No, but like Angel, nobody needed to help you make a mess this season. You created that for yourself. your mouth, all the energy you had for Wendy after the fact, and you said some crazy nonsense. Um, it just, I don't know, like when you're in the scene, address Wendy and everybody else in the scene. Don't go talk shit outside of the scene with your sister and think that's going to be taken well. Because it just what she said was just wrong, and it just comes off weird. I don't know what's up with her.
Bobby.
Do you think she's coming back?
I hope not. Bobby. I mean, look, I I won't be surprised if they like say, okay, maybe we'll give you a shot just because Cassian is kind of like a mess right now. But hopefully they'll bypass that and say, go back to Denver. We just,
Even though she says they finally bought a house in Potomac, but we shall see. That's
Bob-
something else Ashley said. Ashley said, well, if they did buy a house, I haven't seen it yet, and I won't believe it till I see it. That's what Ashley said. So
Bobby.
Giselle follows up behind Kay and says, I don't believe Wendy knew what was happening, but she does say that she is disappointed that all of this is happening. Wendy then goes into giving a timeline of the events, stating that the first the burglary happened and what happened with the burglary, and then goes into
Mm-mm.
the arrest.
Wendy is a fool.
Okay, wait, let me finish this part. So we
Like,
get
girl.
into
Enough.
Andy then asks Karen, did you reach out to Wendy when you heard of the arrest? Karen says, I want you to go home to your kids. But when I said shut the F up, it was out of context. You're talking too much. I said what I said because I'm begging you to stop talking. You shouldn't have said what you just said. Don't answer any questions. Okay. I understand why Karen said what she said. I absolutely, so I'll give Karen this point.
I
I'll
will
give
give
her that.
Karen this too. Wendy is, you know what? She has really convinced herself that a robbery happened. Like, you can't tell her no different. You can't tell her that she probably saw the robber with her own two eyes. Like, God bless her commitment to this story. But yeah, no, Karen was, I 100% agree with Karen because, girl, shut the fuck up. Like, you are dumb. You are so dumb. Like that, like what Kenya said, it pains me to see her be so dumb.
Yeah, I in that moment, yeah, Karen was right. Um, I don't know what else to say about that. Like, I just would have been like, no comment. But Wendy follows up and says, she or they was it was a lot because Wendy is like really being soft spoken in a moment. She was like, yeah, but I already spoke to my legal counsel. They're aware that I was going to be here and the line of questioning, and says, what I'm saying is nothing new. This is actually public information that I've already stated.
She sounds
Um,
like a nut when she gets into that little soft baby voice. Like when she was like, well, Andy, you give the best hugs. I hope you know that. Like, girl, this little fake demure voice. Wendy is such a stunt queen. I'm sorry in every way. Like I've said I like Wendy this season. She's such a stunt queen. Like the theatrics, I'm just enough. But carry on.
um,
Andy gives the best hugs. Bobby.
yeah. Additionally, I don't know. It just I don't enjoy, like when somebody's already down on their luck. I don't enjoy like beating down on them even more. Again, I'm hoping her and Eddie can see their way through this whole situation. It's sad, it's unfortunate. But I just don't know, what else to say on it, because I just think they need to go to court and, fight their way out of this. But it does look, it just seems so scary. So Andy does say, "Hey, we're all we all care about you. We're very concerned. The evidence does look bad. Do you have a plan? Who will the kids be with? Is your family standing by you?" And Wendy says yes. I'm not sure how many people knew this, but the relationship between Wendy and Eddie's family, well, Wendy and Eddie's family was very strained. It did start to get better last year. She invited some of them to her 40th birthday party. Um, and it just seems she made it seem like they are really rallying behind both of them, his family and her family. And although, her sister and her mother had that terrible conversation on screen, they have they were there for her when all of this was going down, as they should be. But at this point, she's hoping that she won't have to make a plan for, you know, her kids being with somebody else. If her and Eddie end up do going to jail. Um, I just don't like it's just so sad. I hate talking about this, and I just don't I think this being a black franchise, it I don't even like talking about any of this. I'm gonna just say that.
Well, she shouldn't be committing crimes allegedly.
Yeah. I was right to say allegedly. I just so I can't even. Um so I'm gonna ask something else. Oh, go ahead, Chase. I see Chase is up here. Go ahead. Hello.
Mm-mm. I'm sure he'll put me down for something, little hater.
I'm waiting because then I wanted to go into the Giselle not having a package.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, so everybody's like, Giselle doesn't have a package?
She didn't do much. But I mean, that's fine. She really didn't do much this season. And I'm sure they cut time for Karen. She'll be
Okay.
back. She ain't going anywhere. It's a nothing burger. Boo, tomato,
Hey, I'm
tomato.
sorry. Just 1 second, you guys. I think it's hello,
Yeah.
hello. I think there's
Unfortunately.
some confusion in the lounge, Tori, because you're very you're very saddened and sympathetic and empathetic, and you don't like to see people go through this and down when it's Wendy.
You
And
want
so I
me to
think there was
address
some
that?
confusion in the lounge.
Okay. Let me address
I mean, I
that.
think I know. Hold on, baby. I think I know the difference, but if you would like to explain the difference, I think
Okay.
that would be helpful. But I think I understand the difference.
Exactly. Somebody was convicted of a crime and somebody has
Convicted
not
of
been
a
convicted
crime
of a
and somebody has not been convicted of a
So that's the difference. Once somebody is
Oh,
convicted,
okay.
do you understand what I'm
Do you
saying?
understand what I'm saying?
No, no. Okay, so I then clearly misunderstood as well. I didn't know it was that your hard line is like once you're convicted of a crime, you don't fuck with the person no more. I thought it was more like because Karen has had multiple instances of DUIs, you have no more tolerance or forgiveness for her, and because this is the first documented allegation against Wendy in any kind of criminal capacity that you may have. So I thought it was because of the amount of times that Karen has had her struggle with sobriety and DUIs and in and out of jail, as opposed to this being Wendy's first set of charges and allegations. I didn't know it was because once you're convicted and you're done with them. So I didn't know that.
Right. It is because also Karen had multiple. But what I'm saying is somebody has been
What I'm
convicted,
saying is
somebody
somebody
has
has been
not been convicted.
convicted, somebody has not been convicted.
right? Like,
So once someone
I,
is once some
one
yeah, I
second.
would
Can
just want
you
like
move
once
for a
someone
second?
is okay, once someone is convicted, are you like what is your like what like if someone is convicted and they go to jail, is it like you no longer you don't like I guess what I'm trying to ask is like you don't no longer like rock with that person, or is it like what is your stance on that? Because some people,
Okay,
they
I'm
do,
gonna
some
give it
people
to you,
don't.
baby. Can Because there's feedback, so that's why I
Mr.
wanted you to.
Flopper.
Hello.
Hello?
So I think we live in the United States of America. Am I correct? You laughing because you know where I'm going with it. When you live in the United States of America, everybody is afforded due process. Wendy has not gotten due process yet. She has not been convicted of a crime. And so that is the difference. Number one, she has not been convicted of a crime. Number two, she has to go through court and trial. She has not done that yet. Number three is, yes, Karen has had multiple charges for her DUIs. This is
She
the
said
first time
multiple due processes. She could write a book on them.
right. Like that's just what it is. Until Wendy and Eddie has been found guilty of a crime, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, like, and treat her as if she's guilty. You're innocent until you're proven guilty. Am I correct? Are we not living in the United States of America? Because if we really want to go there, there's somebody who is a 34-time felon, and my great state of New York got him convicted of them crimes, and he's still the president of the United States. So let's not go there because we can go on legalities. Okay, thank you.
That is the funniest comment I have seen in a long
Which one?
time. And I'm a funny ass fucking person.
Which one?
Scorpio 89 said when Pam calls someone's phone, it shows up as scam likely. That is the funniest shit.
Thank you. Love, love, love. Innocent until proven guilty. I think, let me tell y'all something about me. I am very, very, like, I took business law in school. I'm really big on legalities. Not to mention, I'm about to have 3 lawyers in my family. Love that for them. But at the end of the day, we have to remember that we live in the United States of America, and that is the judicial process. Even if people don't know what civics and everything else is. Let's be honest. Until she is found guilty, I'm not going to sit here and say she is. That's just not what it is. And that was the same thing with Karen. Let me bring that back to y'all. I didn't say nothing about Karen. I said, let this play out. Wait till she go to trial. The whole time, when that video dropped and I saw video evidence of her talking shit to them cops and saying she was the concubine of Thomas Jefferson, I said, oh no, she guilty. I have not seen any video of Pam Oliver or Eddie Hennessy doing anything that they have been accused of. That is why I'm not going to say that. So let's not do that. Fair is fair. Okay, thank you. So I gave them the same treatment.
You did.
Okay, thank you. I would like to say that. I could have been a lawyer, boo. How about that?
Period.
Okay. Anyway, so I meant to, without that line of questioning, what I was going to ask you, since you admitted that Giselle did not give much this season, because last night you told me you still believe Giselle deserved first seat. Do you?
Because Wendy was a flop in her first seat, talking like a sedated 13-year-old. Yes. If Wendy had stepped up, I would have said, you know what? She deserved that first seat. Wendy just sat there. Oh, Daddy Andy, you give me the best hugs. Oh, girl, bye. I don't care if she doesn't have a package.
You and Chase are two sides. Two different sides of the same coin. Both of y'all go to bat for y'all faves.
But I also don't care that Giselle didn't have a package because she's gonna be back next season. She really, I'm not saying that she did a lot this season in terms of personal story. I mean, she was active in the group. That's all I care about. I mean, hell, Whitney didn't get a package in Salt Lake City.
All right, I guess. I tried. I asked the question. I don't think she should have got first seat. Obviously, with Wendy and
Giselle would
Eddie.
do more in first seat than Wendy did.
Who?
I said Giselle would do more in first seat. Love said she
How would
couldn't.
she don't have a package?
I said she would do more in first seat than Wendy did. Wendy did absolutely nothing.
Yes, she did. She was arguing with Kay and everything else. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
She did nothing. Okay, she had one argument. There were other people who had more arguments.
Well, Jazzy came in hot, child, and so did Kay.
Well, I mean, no, Jazzy, that's different. I mean, this was like her meeting with HR, and she just had to like get off her tip. Like that's different. And for people saying Giselle cared about, Giselle didn't. I feel like people think that Giselle takes stuff to heart. She was pretty lighthearted when she said, "Oh, I didn't have a package. Let me tell you what's going on with me."
And she could have saved that because nobody cared about what she had going on. Nobody.
Now, whether people cared, that's not the point that I'm saying. What I'm saying is Giselle didn't care that she didn't have a package.
Okay, but she didn't need to give us the rundown because number one, we didn't care that. I mean, we love her kids.
You got it. She gave it to you. So now we move on.
We love her kids, but then nobody care about that update of her joining the sorority. Nobody care. She don't give us her dating life, so we definitely don't care about whether she want quantity over quality or I don't know. You should have thought about that before you married Jamal Bryant. But anyway, I didn't really even care to hear them updates.
But you heard it. Moving on.
Everybody gives their little reflections.
This section was bullshit. Every last one of these women were lying, except for Stacey. And you know I don't go up for her. She was probably the only one. So yeah, I want to stay me, but all the rest of these women, every last fucking one, except maybe Tia, lied.
I want to be exactly the way I am. Stacey, do you want to share the Stacey tea that you heard? Since you mentioned it, Stacey.
I always mentally black out when I hear Stacey. What was the tea?
The tea that so Nneka and Ashley's friends were sitting in a section.
Oh,
yes, go ahead.
So I don't know who it was that was talking about Stacey's breath. Somebody in the room was saying something. I think asked Ashley, like somebody mentioned Stacey's breath, but I was sitting in the seats over from Ashley's people, and I could definitely hear that that section basically saying, yeah, she has stank breath. But you know, I mean,
who else confirmed that?
Allegedly, there might have been another housewife that confirmed it that was there. Allegedly.
Or former?
Former, yes.
Former housewife.
That's what my good ears told me.
I just find it funny because her friend had went to bat for her and was like, that's total bullshit. They just are hazing her by saying her breath stink. If multiple people keep saying her breath stink, Ashley said it too. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on with Stacey, but I think for next season you should work on that. If everybody keeps saying,
you remember when old boy said Jennifer on Basketball Wives smelled like a dragon, had dragon breath. I was like, not my Jennifer, not my pretty Jen, smelling like a damn dragon.
Wendy did, however, say that she thought the women were going to go harder on her. And you know, we don't know what's going to happen with her case. So she says she had a lot of support from the ladies. Monique has been checking in on her and she appreciated that. And so she actually took a jab at Ashley. But Wendy said, when you need these women the most, they know how to rise to the occasion. Wendy said before turning to Ashley, and that does include you, old bunion feet Ashley. Um, and all shade aside, even Ashley admitted that she could come more sisterly and less petty moving forward. So there was some progress there. And that's really how the episode ends. Andy brings out some flutes of champagne and they cheers to everybody. And
I know Karen was jealous.
she couldn't have a sip of.
I know she was like just over there salivating in the corner.
Lord have mercy.
Stop.
Jay is not gonna
Like
let her.
alcoholism. I'm not like calm down, keyboard warriors. Yeah, this absolutely could have been a 1 or 2 part reunion. Sorry, I'm reading comments.
Yes, I agree. So please share your thoughts on this season and the reunion. So since you gave some of it.
I'm glad Chase is foaming his mouth in the comments where he belongs tonight.
Oh Lord. I just asked you a question overall.
We playing the Sip and Shave video. Is it?
Oh my God. You know what? I'm done with y'all. I can't. All right, what y'all saying in the chat since he's down here? Yeah, apparently Timo does like the breath. That's I guess that works for them. I do agree. I don't know if we needed all three. I just feel like they chopped up a lot of this because there's a lot that wasn't discussed. It was, to me, it was very chopped. I don't know. I just Karen got a big chunk of the reunion as well. Monique wasn't featured in that much either. I mean, she came in halfway through the season, but I don't know. I think they could have did a better job of editing, to me, a little bit. The stuff that we wanted to learn and talk about, and I don't think they really got to the bottom of it.
Sure didn't.
Yeah, so one more thing. Does anybody agree, Jay? You let me know. Angel used this term called whipping boy. She claimed that she was the whipping boy this season. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree with anything Angel said since she's appeared on the show.
Okay, Chase is gonna drop a link. You guys can call in and give your thoughts on the third part of the reunion.
Hello, Sip and Shave video. Is that happening?
You start and mess, and you know what's gonna happen.
I'm just can't ask questions. This is like a dictatorship. Feels like I'm in Iran.
Chase, answer his question, please. So we can stop asking. I don't know. I don't. She used that word, and I'm just like, I don't know if she's trying to convince the audience that she was the whipping boy. I'm not saying that they didn't pile on her. I'm not saying that. But for her to specifically say it was Wendy that Wendy was her whipping boy. Yes, she came at you, but you came at her too. Like, you can't have it both ways, Angel. And I don't know if you and Kay was on this, was in cahoots on this narrative, but
we need to trade Angel for her sister. Well, no, I didn't like her sister, but at least she was more interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if whipping boy was the correct term. I'm not saying she didn't get dog piled on. But see, y'all have selective memory because Stacey also got her lashings in, if we're gonna use the word whipping boy. And I don't see y'all calling out Stacey for doing
They
that.
don't, they don't call out their QVC queen. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, it's so let's keep it fair, guys. Everybody piled on Angel. And when it was Stacey's turn, Angel did it to Stacey too. Let's call it both ways. Y'all are being very like, I'm calling y'all out. Y'all want to call me out? Now I'm calling y'all out in the lounge. You got to be fair. Y'all only calling out one person. Okay? And I'm not saying I don't like Stacey, but fair is fair. When it was Stacey, Angel got her licking. Oh, well, is there a social justice component to
Oh
your
my God.
games?
Please don't bring that up. That pisses me off.
No, but this is what I'm saying. Like, everybody tends to forget it goes both ways. And as I remember it, it was mostly Giselle that led the charge on dog piling on her, mostly. But when they all took turns and got in each other's asses. It wasn't just Wendy. And mostly Wendy is in trouble for laughing at the catfish comment because she didn't even say it.
Wendy did more than laugh. Wendy cackled.
She sure did.
That's some shit I would do. I'd be like,
But getting mad at the person who cackled and not the person who said it is insane. So y'all agree with Giselle then? Like, y'all letting Giselle skate. This is what I'm saying. You can't have it both ways. Don't sit here and try to call me out for treating Karen like this and Wendy like that, and then y'all doing the same. See how hypocritical y'all are? Chase, do we have any callers?
He probably over there writing the Bible of Karen.
And David, don't start with me, child.
Mm.
Because I ain't agreeing with you. She is innocent until proven guilty. She has not had her day in court yet. So the trial has not started. We don't even know when it will start. She is
I think she's due in April. I thought I saw that.
March 4th. And
Oh,
in April, yes.
while we're waiting on Chase to appear and tell us if we have callers, did you see the news about Roni is filming next week? They've announced the cast.
Really?
Yes. So today they announced the 3 new girls that are going to be joining Sai, Aaron, and Jessel. And Carol Radziwill will be back as a friend of. Yes.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yes.
I can't discuss why, but it's very interesting. Y'all could do the digging yourselves on that, but it's
Very-
interesting that she's joining. Oh, there you go. I ain't say it.
You know, so apparently one of the girls on the show is like John Gosling's ex-girlfriend. Yeah. Which
Yeah, alleged. I mean, it's not alleged. I saw it on Variety reported that she is going to court on the 4th. I think it's about motions and if it will go to trial. I think that's what they said. The March 4th hearing will be about. Yeah.
Yep. Love Kate +8. Is there any other tea that we should be spilling? Oh, let me just say, when Ashley basically said that she threw Sharice a lifeline because she was pretty much
Yeah.
poor, the whole room was like, ooh.
So yeah, they got into and I was one of the main people who was very critical of Ashley during this Jackson thing. She did tell the audience that she was actually trying to help Sharice get back on the show. She basically said, I threw her a bone with this Jackson storyline, allegedly. And even though she said it, but allegedly, I'm gonna still say allegedly. And it was her time to shine in that scene when she told her about the thing between her and Jackson, but she kept laughing it off. And she said that allegedly Shasha had expressed to them that she had made a bad financial decision. And so she was trying to help her get back on the show. But when they filmed the scene, all she did was laugh about the situation instead of showing up and coming with a real reaction to get her back on the show. And so that was her moment to try to get back on the show, and she didn't take it. So she don't know what she was supposed to do. That's what came out of that. I mean, she said, here's the thing. She said she kind of alluded to her having relations, and that was the point where Sharice was, she said she was ready for her to react, for whatever reaction she was going to give, and be fine with it if it got Sharice back on the show. But Sharice did not, I guess, didn't take it seriously and instead laughed at it. And so that's how we got to where we got with that.
I feel like the one question that is yet to be asked when that's brought up, and I wanted to ask it, but I was told I had 60 seconds, so I had to get in what I could get in, you know. Because you guys know I like to ask hard hitting questions, but I wasn't really able to do so, you know. But I do feel that the question that people failed to follow up with in Ashley's game, so I could have asked, you know, if I would have had more time. But the question that people failed to ask is after Ashley says Sharice was aware and you know this and I said this and I kind of said this and I kind of said that. The question I feel like I want people to ask. Thank you so much, TKC. Yes, everybody knows that can be Chase Walters. Yes, God, honey. But the question that I want people to ask is after Watch What Happens Live, when you said that you go and you were surprised that she did not see you on the ring cam multiple times coming to your home. Um, you know, so I think that that is what may have been the catalyst for Sharice's ire and her anger in this situation, because ultimately you're saying that you're surprised I didn't catch you on my ring cam coming to my house to fuck my son. And I think a lot of people would have a problem with that. And we haven't seen her specifically be asked that, and we haven't seen her specifically answer to everything that happened off camera. Maybe she did say that, you know, and it just didn't air. And so we don't know if that question isn't being specifically asked. You know what I mean? And so I
Right.
would love to know that portion of it. Also this season, you know, as we look over it as a whole, I think that while they are not above critique, they deserve the lashings that they get. And all of the above. I do think that the newbies, not and when I say newbies, I'm referring to anybody that's kind of like not a season 5 and or like a season 8 and like a season 7 and up kind of thing. So I, even though they have their moments of flopperization, right? I'm not discounting that, but Kiana, Stacy, Tia somewhat, Jazzy somewhat, and Angel definitely have successfully shifted the conversations that we're having about this show. And I think that that is something that should be acknowledged and commended, because regardless to whether or not we like them, regardless to whether or not we're fans of them, I do think that the show needed a breath of fresh air. It needed a new coat of paint, and it got it. Um, you know, whether that means they need to stay or go, that's not for me to say or for me to decide. But what I will recognize is, and I want people to remember how miserable the fandom was after season 8 in that season 8 reunion, and how just like we were tired. We have been fighting a colorism conversation for years. There were clear lines drawn in the sand. Girls would not work with other girls. They wouldn't even barely speak to the girls. Girls who caused situations were mad at the people for being mad at them and upset at the way that they responded to the things, the situations they created. I'm talking about Giselle. Um,
You're not.
I am Giselle and Candace specifically. I'm speaking on what I'm speaking on, and I thank you. Um, but
Not yes.
and I said what I said. And so with that being said, the conversations have gone from that to other conversations, and while the conversations may pale in comparison to the heyday of the brand, which is season 3 and 4, right? The show hasn't been the same since the fight anyway. If we're just gonna keep it a buck, it's not the same show, and it's never going to be able to go back to that. And so, what I will do is um, give those ladies credit for what they did contribute, because I'm the kind of girl that I give all the girls their G's, even if I don't see it for you. If you did something, you did something, and like it or not, Jazzy and her fiance slash husband, and the situation around that, Stacy and the Stacy of everything, Angel and the Angel of everything, Kiana and Greg, Kiana and Wendy, Kiana and Angel, Kiana and Jazzy. You know what I mean? Like, we did get new things. Now, what I think they need to do is be very careful about if they remove anybody, who they remove. And it needs to be, if you remove people that you don't think you can see growing into the position and growing into the spots. Because if you watch Potomac, even though I have an affinity and a soft spot for season 1, and maybe not so much season 2, but definitely season 1, I love season 1, right? It didn't really hit a sweet spot until season 3. And at that point, this is 3 years of the girls working together at this point and living and playing together at this point. And so it does take time to find that kind of chemistry. And so I would just implore everybody, before y'all get to firing the people, to take that into consideration, because we're not at season 8 anymore. And remember, that was what we didn't want at the time. So now that we got something different, are we being overly critical, or, whatever, just something to think about, food for thought, I think. Candace is still bitter about, Candace is still bitter about, I'm sorry, y'all know I can't really see well. Candace is still bitter doing interviews, but claims she doesn't watch the show. So she's doing interviews for press, and they ask her about it. I watch her podcast on a weekly basis for No Chaser TV, just to see if there's anything that comes up. And I can't speak to how they, discuss what they're going to talk about. But I'm going to assure you guys, if you do not watch it and you're just talking and don't know what you're talking about, if you watch it, she never brings it up. He brings it up, Michael, and Michael talks about it a lot more than she does. A lot of the time, she sits there quiet. And I want to go ahead and also say this. If I leave No Chaser TV today, right, and it carries on without me, you mean to tell me I'm never allowed to speak about it again? I've always found that commentary very interesting when people say, oh, she's talking about the show again. Oh, she's talking about this again. Oh, she's talking about that again. It's my song. I wrote it, Ike, in the words of Tina Turner. I know the song, Ike, I wrote it, right? I could talk about what I want to talk about as much as I want to talk about, because it's my lived experience. And so while I do understand that, you have to also understand, if you're not watching the totality of these interviews that they're doing, or the totality of these podcasts, they are a snippet and a clip that is serviced by a platform that serves a platform that they cater to. So if she's talking about politics, which she talks about a lot on that platform, and my platform right now is reality based and not a politic based platform, why would I post her talking about politics when the obvious post would be to post her talking about former cast members that she works with on a show that we regularly cover? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I will also say, do you have that same critique of Crystal Minkoff or Tamara? Well, Tamara's back on the show, but
I've never
Teddy
said that. Why are they
Mellencamp.
talking about? I've never said that though.
Yeah, like I don't get it. Or the girls, even outside of that, the girls who Deepti and the other one from Love Is Blind also talk about the show. Listen, TKC, like
Oh, if it's TKC in the comments, I don't have time to
that's who said it. That's
Oh,
what I'm
well, I'm just
saying.
saying, like, I didn't know if he continued. I would just answering that particular question, but I didn't
Yeah.
read anything else after that. But I just wanted to
Yeah,
see that
like
that is a critique of a lot of people. They don't want to hear. Oh, who cares? They take the time to comment. Who cares?
yeah, but it is what it is. Everybody who has a lived experience about a particular subject matter is going to do a podcast about it, whether they still do it or not, whether they still in
Podcast, but to her
they
credit,
still in
podcast isn't about it.
yeah. Bethany, you're right. Like they all comment on it, whether they on the show anymore or not. So if you're gonna have that critique about one, make sure it goes all around. Like y'all said about me and Karen and Wendy. If you're gonna be a contrarian, make sure you keep it straight and not be a hypocrite.
You're not gonna let that one go argue, huh?
No, I'm not.
Wow.
Because we live in the United States of America and we should know what due process is.
I think my point is, do you have anybody convicted of any felonies in your orbit? Not felonies, but anybody just convicted of any crimes in your orbit?
One.
Are you still? What is your relationship with them?
A relative.
No, but like, what is your relationship with that relative?
Distant.
Was it because they committed a crime, or was it because?
No, it's not because they committed a crime. No, it's not because they committed.
So I think that you can have. It feels like you have harsh views on criminals, and you can, be tough McGruff on, crime because you're not condoning the crime, but it does feel like at times, you kind of write people off.
I am gonna, depending on the crime, yes. Society does the same thing. Maybe we should take into account the type of crimes that people commit. Because as I said before, people in the government who have no business running the government are criminals. And although they have been convicted of 34 felonies, they still managed to become president of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So, are we done? We don't want to do the legality conversation.
Okay. I mean, but we're talking, baby. Let's see.
I'm just saying.
And I didn't say you said anything wrong. That's the thing. We're having a conversation. So
I got it. White collar crimes are very different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For you.
No, I mean in the eyes of the law as well. But I'm just saying, yes, those 4 times that she allegedly, because I'm gonna still say allegedly, I don't,
well, she said that she didn't get 40 DUIs, so it would be inaccurate.
No, I'm just saying the time she was accused of,
well, let's just say this: she's been caught more times than not drunk.
Right.
You could say that.
Right. Yeah. There you go. Accurate. So the fact is that she could have harmed people or animals or anything like that. Whereas, we don't know all the details of whatever Wendy and Eddie are accused of. I don't know if whatever crime they have allegedly been accused of affected anybody. We don't know those details. If they did affect somebody other than them, then hey, I would change my critique.
Well, then I'd like to hear what you're going to say, because I did work in auto insurance for nearly 10 years, and we're trained that anytime that someone does commit that type of a crime, not saying that they did, but anytime someone actually
raises rates for everybody else,
and that does affect everyone.
I wonder how many rewards points Karen has at Total Wine. I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot. Like that just popped in my mind. I know she probably just getting bottles for free after some point.
I wonder how many bitches wine fucking other than Robin.
Ooh, who knows? Maybe we'll both get answers to our questions.
We wonder
how many rewards.
We wonder.
Diva.
We wonder. I wonder if she was drinking tonight. She saw him out with that bitch like her.
She might have, and she probably got in the Uber afterwards.
Well, she saw that though. She got that right.
She got in the Uber right. Crime.
She got that mistress right.
She run her car into a tree.
I wonder how much money Robin made. Think about it.
Putting that
behind a paywall that you paid for. So I know she got your $5. But how many other $5 do you think she got?
I'd say quite a lot with her lucrative podcast. But again, this has nothing to do with the fact that
And she better thank
Aaron,
God Giselle.
you love how you I love how you deflect whenever I bring up the fact that your girl Cruella Deville was just zip zagging through the roads with 3 bottles of Riesling in the passenger seat. Like it's, but then you want to bring up Robin and Giselle, all because your girl
99 bottles of beer on the wall.
wouldn't touch a glass of water if it was shoved up her nose.
Okay.
Mm.
My bad, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't know if y'all know or are aware. Wait a minute. I don't know which one is the right one to take down. Hold on. I think it's this one.
Oh,
Okay.
please, Miss EE.
Okay, there we go. Can you hear me?
Not lucrative.
Okay, I don't know if you guys are aware, but my flight was delayed 2 hours, and I just am literally getting home from the DC work trip, and so yeah, so that's what's going on. So you see me like hopping and doing that because everything going there because I ain't had a chance to really do what I need to do. But I don't really know what we was talking about. But if we was going back and forth about Robin and Karen, I'd rather not because that's irrelevant at
Yeah,
this
let's
point.
not.
Um,
I'm tired.
what do you think about the season overall? I thought that it's been better than the last three. It was better than the last three. I thought to me.
It wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. I feel like I liked season 9 just a little bit more. But yeah, it was cute.
I thought season 9 lagged a little bit and was a little like it dragged on.
I mean, they both dragged. I felt like I just enjoyed. There was a bit more fun, in that one. I miss Mia, so there's that too.
Ew, gross.
Listen, Mia was good fun, light chaos. Even with the ghetto baby daddy drama, Mia always was just fun and slow.
I was gonna point something
You're gonna
out.
figure out a way to say something. Just
Oh yeah, okay, I forgot. Mia was fun and resource room. Victoria, I remember.
Got it. Let's see who catches that. I don't know. This season, I liked it at some points. I think it just was. I think we missed some things. It did seem a bit choppy. We didn't get a lot of context for some people's aggression, or um, I don't know. Maybe some people didn't get a fair shake in the edit. I don't know, but I do like look
that's a
back.
fair assessment.
Yeah, I do look back on it like I like and as a whole, holistically, like
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this. I'm gonna say one name and then I'm not gonna say the other one. But I do think the edit this season only helped Stacy and maybe one other person. It helped Stacy. It did a disservice to everyone else on the show. But also when we holler about edits, if you don't do it, they can't show it, divas. So remember that. Ain't nothing to edit if you don't do it. But there
No,
is a lot of
was,
why
there
and a
was
lot of context that we didn't get this season.
we didn't get the scene about Ashley and Wendy crying over Wendy's father. There was a lot that they did that was not shown.
Yeah. Well, they filmed a lot, and
But
that
that's
so
scene
you
that
I
say
scene
don't.
was dope.
they didn't do it, then it's not there. That's not necessarily true. They did do so, but it was
No, well,
decided to not be shown.
or somebody said it wasn't there.
Yeah,
You said if they don't do it, then it can't be shown. But I'm saying that
No,
they
no, no, no. That's not what I'm saying. When I say that, what I mean is, even though a lot of girls got shafted in the edit this season, if you're not doing having those behaviors, and they can't, there's nothing for them to show and edit it. You get what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, while the
I
edit
mean,
may not have shown what the other person did, you did do what you did.
I don't
Ultimately, at the end of
necessarily
the day.
agree because if they're trying to make a particular narrative, then yeah, people could exhibit a lot of behaviors. But if they don't want to show it because it doesn't fit whatever narrative they're trying to make, then yeah, they have a reason to not show it. And I think that's across the board with all of these women.
Well, I would say this. For me, I actually wish they would just show us the show as it happens and stop trying to pre. This is not WWE, so stop trying to predetermine the winners and the losers,
I
and let
agree.
us choose for ourselves. If you just show it straight how it happened, and let us make it, because the people who deserve to be liked are not being liked. And I'm not saying that there's anybody who deserves it, but if you're editing stuff to look a certain way, it's slanted for people, then that's not fair to the other person involved. And I think it's not fair to us as well as the viewers. Just show the shit how it happened. Like I'll never forget. Y'all gonna get mad about this one, but I'll never forget season 13 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, when Portia was doing her social justice component, and she was marching and Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, and there was a situation between Portia and Candy where Portia got upset allegedly. This is alleged. I don't know. This is just what was reported and alleged. Allegedly, Portia got upset, right? And confronted Candy because Black Lives Matter was supposed to be her storyline. You guys remember that was going around?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And they're saying allegedly Portia went to production and had it cut because it looked tacky and tasteless, excuse me, which I agree. However, they did not take out Kenya's commentary on the situation. They took out the storyline and left Kenya's commentary about questioning about whether or not Portia's interest in Black Lives Matter was genuine, because it became a storyline and I'm doing this, and so if I'm doing it, you shouldn't be doing it because I'm filming it. And they only left in Kenya's comment that was like, in the edit, it looked like Kenya was hating on Portia. No tea, no shade, right? But the context surrounding Kenya's comment was cut out. This is all alleged. This has been well documented, though, so you guys can look that up. I'm not making it up. I'm not riding for one side or the other on this. I'm just saying that's a clear cut instance of something like that that has happened where, oh, well, this happened because of this, but we didn't see this. You know what I mean? So I hate when they do that, because even though it did need to be scrapped, it is tasteless. Maybe we would have viewed the situation differently. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's just an example of what was said. All right. Yes, storylines. Well, see, now you talking, making it out about Kenya and all that stuff. I don't know about all that. I'm just telling y'all what I heard. I don't know. I mean, what was said at the time. All right, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and give season 10 a 7 out of 10. And I thought it was better than the season 9, season 8, and probably season 7 as well. It ranks up there pretty high in Potomac seasons for me. The beginning of the season was so chaotic, and just every week it was something. Remember, we went from the Bloom Ball, then we went to Kay's house, and then we went to um, the what is it, the Preakness. Then we went to Nevis, like those episodes, and then from there we went to the Shiloh launch, and we went to the 10,000 downloads party. What is it, 10 million downloads party or whatever it was? Like
Yes.
that string of episodes, those first 8 were fucking phenomenal, and so I can't discredit that. So I gotta give it a 7. That was a pretty good season. You guys in the route, what do you give it?
I give it a 7. I think the first half was very good. The first half felt very like Potomac heyday, and then we went to Colorado. We went to hell.
Yeah. I didn't enjoy the end of the season. I'm gonna get a 6.5. Sorry.
All right. Well, with that being said, I feel like crap. I think I need to lay down. I feel like crap. My body has been through it. My eyes been through it, as y'all know. Like I just have been going through it. I want to thank Tori B and Jay for coming out yesterday and holding it down for No Chaser TV and coming up here and holding it down again tonight. For those of you who are watching, we feel strongly about this because we talk, and so we feel strongly. But I want y'all to know we do not hate each other all the time, and
Not all the
so
time. We
but when
try
you
to be
see us up
funny.
here, yeah, when you see us up here, we're doing it because this is what we do, and this is how we talk. We would talk like this off camera. Well, maybe not. Well, I mean, if we're talking about the story and we feel this way, we feel this way, and we challenge each other on viewpoints, and we get each other together. And some girls win and some girls lose, but ultimately we do it together. And we thank you for another season. Make sure that you guys like, comment, subscribe, and hype the video. It was given Clubhouse tonight. Yes, that's how we met, fighting up and down the thing on Monday Night Raw, and that's what we call it, Monday Night Raw. And so, because we were just very, we're intelligent, young, black,
Passionate.
passionate minds, and we challenge each other. But that doesn't mean that when you watch this, you're gonna go into the comments and think you're gonna do your big one because it's gonna always be us. Okay, and just remember that. All right. With that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. We do greatly appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow for um, Beverly Hills, and we'll be on a siesta on Monday. Siesta, siesta, siesta. Until the Atlanta Housewives starts, and you'll get me for that, and we'll have guests popping in as we did last season every now and then. But until next time, we bid you adieu. Good night. Mwah.
See you in
See you.
September.
No, not you though, not you, baby. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, I'm joking. I'm joking.